A while ago when I was about 7 to 8 I went to the YMCA during summer and it was pretty fun. There was this one kid who was very short and scrawny. I was very small but he was smaller, and he would always try to show me cool things he got. However, I would not care and would often throw it at a wall or into a hard to reach place. Now I know he sort of thought I was cool and just wanted to be friends, and I feel awful. I've never stopped thinking about it, and I just want to apologize, but I don't know where he lives or his name. Many years ago, I was standing on one of my balconies when a taxi driver was obnoxiously blowing his horn out front and yelling for a blind man to walk toward my voice from his own townhouse. That direction was toward traffic. My roommate and I went down and helped him to the taxi and scolded the driver for being so rude. I made the mistake of giving the blind neighbor my phone number so that I could give him a ride in the future. Then the phone calls came and never stopped. And when I gave him a ride, he would ask for various detours. I'm very calculated by nature. If he had told me beforehand where he wanted to go, it would be cool, but no. We'd be driving along and he'd throw in 2 to 3 extra places on each ride. And it came to be every day that he wanted rides. And he'd even call me to remind me to give him a ride, not that was ever late or backed out. Finally I had enough, so I gauged how blind he was. His response was that he was blind as a bat. A week or 2 after he said that, I told him I had a job interview in the next city. A week after that, I told him I got the job and was moving away in a month. After I moved away it was strange as hell walking by him in silence as he stood on the sidewalk. I'm writing this as a confession because I don't know where else to speak about this, and I don't want my kids finding this out on my main account. My friend died a few months back due to heart problems. He was taking care of himself, so it was a shock to everyone. Especially his wife, who was with him at their house when he died. Due to this, she decided to move somewhere else, and because she and her daughter were still distraught, she asked me to pack up his stuff. He had some boxes in his basement, and after a while I started feeling nostalgic and decided to look into them. I found pictures of us from when we were kids all the way to before we got married. That was enough to make me feel bad, and I just got back to taping them up, but one of the boxes seemed to be in much better condition, so I decided to check it in case it was something important. To my surprise, I found out pictures of him and my wife from when we used to hang out together, as well as more recent pictures from family reunions. The most recent being from my wife's birthday party. Alongside the pictures there were letters that he never sent her. The first one dated 2 months before I met her. The last one was also the same date of her birthday party. There was one that stood out the most, was one from after I started dating her. He wrote that his time had passed, and since my happiness was as important as his own, he would watch over us. I'll keep his box safe since it isn't my secret to reveal.
I was not in a good mental spot. It wasn't some big epic fight that started it. We had a disagreement and I flipped. I didn't black out, I was fully aware of my actions. We were in a happy relationship, at that point 3 years in. I woke up one day and we had a little argument over something I don't even remember now. He tried walking away to let me cool off and I lost it. I grabbed my gun, told him we were going to talk. I loaded it and held him at gunpoint in our bedroom for about 8 hours. I had never been violent before, no warning signs etc. He talked me out of it, and instead of calling the police he got me the help I needed through medical professionals. I was diagnosed with PTSD, social anxiety and depression, possible stemming from the PTSD. He was there for me every step of the way, and the guilt I feel will never go away from my actions. Life could have gone such a different way if I pulled the trigger. This was 10 years ago, and we are married, and have 2 beautiful children. Looking at us now, no one would imagine what happened. We never told anyone, and he stood by me at my darkest moment. Mental health problems are real. Instead of locking me away and running for the hills, he helped me when I needed it the most. The resulting life we are living together is more than I could have ever imagined. I know this sounds weird, but when I worked at Starbucks, there was a regular customer that was very difficult and rude. I was warned of this customer on my first day of training. She came in every morning and would try to rush the workers on doing their job and makes other customers feel uncomfortable. 3 months into working, she came in one morning and caused absolute hell. She was complaining about her drink while one of my coworkers was making the drink. As soon as she got it, she accidentally spills it and asks for a completely different drink. I was so fed up. She wanted a frappuccino. She went to the bathroom while we were making the new order. I switched with my coworker and made the drink. Instead of almond milk, I made the frappuccino with regular milk. The drink was ready by the time she left the bathroom. She takes the drink and takes a sip and didn't complain. 5 hours later, she calls the Starbucks from the hospital, and I was the one who picked up. She got in a car accident trying to rush to a bathroom. She said she shitted her pants. I couldn't be any more happier that she was safe but got her karma.
I did time in jail, I went to therapy, and I sought forgiveness from her family. I worked on myself. I went to rehab. I'm now 6 years sober. I warn the youth about the dangers of drugs. But I still remember that night vividly. Her birthday is coming up, and that's when the guilt intensifies. I've thought about suicide before. I took a life and I was a worthless piece of shit, so I deserve to die. I know I didn't cause her addiction. It's possible she would have overdosed without my help. But it doesn't matter, because in this reality, I was the one who did it. And I will never not feel guilty about it.
You're not trying too hard.